trust and know that sometimes we know ourselves best, but other people can see things in us that we don't even know are possible.
Hey, welcome to this podcast, Little Girls Aren't Taught This. I am your host, Lydia McCartney. I am a reclaim and embodiment coach, the queen of deep trauma transformations, and my superpower is helping women heal the core traumas that fracture their self-love and block them from stepping into their power and the life that they desire. My motto is action plus embodiment equals freedom, and this is the podcast unlike no other. In this podcast, I am going to plant little seeds of self-love that allow you to begin to develop your sense of self-awareness and really understand what self-love means for you. So let's jump into this week's episode.
Hello, my loves. Welcome to the podcast. So this episode is a little impromptu. So I've just recorded an episode and then a thought popped into my head and I was like, you know what, that's so relevant and fitting for today. So I'm going to change the podcast of what I put out today. And I want to talk about, basically today marks 1 year of me taking on my first ever trauma client. And I didn't know that, but I got a message off Nikita, who's done a podcast episode with me. So if you've listened to that, you know how much I adore Nikita. So I woke up to a message off Nikita and then also Nikita's mom, because they were just so thankful. Like, I can't even put into words how amazing it felt to receive the messages. And it came in a really beautiful time because I have decided to fully give myself permission to step into taking on one-on-one trauma clients. Like, I'm still doing the self-love work, but that is going to be saved for my new container, Deeply Divine. And then which is going to be a 6-month self-love container. Ooh, I get excited just thinking about that. So there's so much evolution going on behind the scenes, and I realised and just connected back with the fact that I am really fucking good at working with people with trauma. Like, I am so good at it, and it really lights my soul up. Like, I just know it's my purpose. So what I was thinking about before when I was on my walk is that, isn't it interesting how sometimes we can't even see the possibilities of what we're capable of, but other people around us will be able to see and give us that chance that we need. So I've spoken about this in the podcast and said that I didn't ever think of doing trauma coaching. I've always had an interest in it, but I didn't ever think of doing it. And it was actually Nikita's mum that come to me and asked me if I would do it. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I've never done it before, but I will do. And I messaged her back today and I was like, I'm so grateful that you've seen what I was capable of when I didn't even know what I was capable of. And I just want to share this with you because I want you to know that sometimes it links back into that notion, doesn't it? Of you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need to know 100% if you can do something. Like, you don't need the evidence for that. And this is a big thing because we're very much dominated by our minds as human beings. And the way that we work is we look for evidence and we look for proof. You know, scientifically, we need to see what's done before. We need the proof. We need the blueprint. That is how we work. And I think often that can hold us back from doing things that we may absolutely excel in. But because we've never done it before, we are in that scarcity or doubtful mindset. And this applies to anything. It applies to if you're trying to break through your own glass ceiling and achieve something that nobody else in your family or your space has ever achieved before. If you're trying to manifest something, if you're trying to hit a income goal that you don't know how you're going to do that, or you're just trying to break away from something that you've always known without any proof around to prove that you can do that. We don't always need the proof, and you don't always need the proof. The more you know yourself and the more you're connected to yourself, the easier it will become to know your capabilities and know if you're stepping into a situation where you feel like it is possible. So when Nikita's mum asked me, I was like, yes, like my body was like, yes. But then the mind came in and it was like, you've never done this before. Like, are you sure this is what you can do? What if this? What if that? What if you're not a good coach? And I just came back to myself and I was like, I have experience. I'm very, very interested in this type of work. And also her mum, the person who knows her best, has come to me with that trust. Like, she has observed me for time, like a long time. She's listened to the things that I've said and she knows that I'm capable of helping her daughter. So imagine I said no because there was no evidence. Like, I'd not done that before. And this is the other thing when we're breaking through barriers and we're breaking through glass ceilings, is you're not going to have the evidence, are you? Like, you're not. When you're doing something for the first time that's brand new, you're not going to have the evidence. So one thing I would say that like has helped me is, you know, I talk about I want to make $250,000 by next May. Absolute fucking ludicrous. Like blows my mind. Like, lol, how are you going to do that? So because I've not done that, because there's no direct evidence of me doing that, instead of allowing the doubt and the fear and the limiting beliefs to come through, which then in turn will stop me energetically, will create energy leaks, won't it, and like lower my vibration and make me feel like it's not possible. I look to other people and other women that are doing that by being conscious leaders. So Susie is a massive one. All the women in the Freedom Experience, you know, all the people I follow on my social media, they, for me, are the evidence that I need, that everything I desire and everything I dream about is possible. And that was the notion of last year. Like, yes, I've not done it before, but I can 100% do it. Other people are doing it. So I would suggest that, like, if you're trying to work towards anything, if you feel like you're holding yourself back because of the lack of evidence to say, or the lack of belief or proof that it's possible, go out there and find people who are doing the things that you desire to do and follow them closely and watch them every day if you have to, and absorb all of the things that they are saying, because they are the proof that you need energetically that the things you desire are possible. And also know that self-worth is very, very important in this. Like, it's a branch that has a involvement, because if I didn't believe that I was not worthy as a coach, and this is separate, this is different to capabilities. Self-worth is very different to the capability piece. But if I didn't know that I was worthy of giving myself this opportunity, I was worthy of trying, you know, I was worthy of saying yes, then again, it would never have happened. So really work on your sense of self-worth when you're trying to break through something, because the lack of worth will continue to come up. It's a big, 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 big piece. It probably deserves its own episode, to be honest, because it's huge, the impact it has, self-worth. But know that you are worthy of doing these things and having these things and breaking through these ceilings. So the proof is the one piece, but the self-worth is the other piece of knowing that, yes, I am worthy of it. And yes, I am going to find the proof that it is possible, which then is going to propel me and up-level me energetically to go out there and align and do all of these things. And when somebody compliments you or asks you to do something, that's where the worthiness shows up, because we have two options. We can either shrink away from that and go, no, I can't do that. no, that's not for me. Or we can lean into that uncomfortability and the unknown and come back to our sense of self-worth and understand that there's something about you that is radiating it out. Like, whatever it is, there's something about you that is radiating out, and a person has picked up on that. Therefore, they have given you the opportunity. They have opened the door. So if you say no, you could be closing a door. Like, imagine I said no last year. Imagine. So yeah, it was a short little sexy episode, but I feel like it's super relevant, and it's just a gorgeous little reminder to know that sometimes we know ourselves best, but other people can see things in us that we don't even know are possible. And isn't that just a gorgeous, gorgeous place to be in as a human? So yeah, I am forever, ever grateful to Nikita and her mum for seeing that possibility in me. Like, it's just gorgeous. And it has allowed me to pull a seat up at the table and say, this is what I'm bringing to the trauma world, and this is how I'm doing it. And it's allowed me to create a huge ripple effect in a year, massive ripple effect in a year, in terms of working with women with trauma and knowing where else that can take me. So thank you so much for listening. If this podcast episode did resonate, you know the dance, what I'm going to ask you. Download, subscribe, share it on Instagram if you loved it, if you took anything away. Every little share helps. And I also just want to open up and say that I have 2 spaces for my one-on-one bespoke trauma coaching. So if you do listen to this and you think, yes, I want to work through trauma and it's my time, then reach out to me on Instagram. I am selflove.lydia, or hit me up on email, which is hello@lydiamccartney.com. It will be in the show notes. And you never know, 1 year from now, you could be sending me that message telling me how much your life has changed, and sitting there and reflecting and thinking, imagine I never done this. Like, imagine. So have a gorgeous week, my darlings, and I shall be back next week with a new episode. Sending you so much love.